In this review we're looking at the latest version of Liebherr's articulated dump truck. The first version of both the real machine and the model appeared back in 2010. This latest version of the TA 230 was completely revised in 2020, and Conrad has also updated and produced a completely new model. It comes in the typical box style for a Liebherr model, and when we open up the box we see that the model is contained within a cardboard-backed piece of foam rubber. That protects the model well, and there's also a bag containing a couple of parts that have to be fitted, and there's also a simple instruction sheet. Out of the box there was one small job to do on the review model, and that was to re-clip on the cable that opens the tailgate. And that's certainly an easy job to do. For the assembly proper there are two mirrors to attach. These are simple plastic parts which don't have silvered surfaces, and the bottom of the mirror frame presses into a hole and the top clips onto the grab rail. Starting underneath, and the Conrad badge is at the front, and the front axle assembly has all been modelled in tough plastic. The rear axle assemblies are also in heavy grade plastic, but the colour match is good so it looks fine. The tyres have got a new tread pattern for this version of the model, and another nice touch are the large soft mud flaps. Let's get the model the right way up, and the sleek design of the real machine is captured well. There are the thin LED lights at the front, and there are also side grills, but these are formed of printed graphics. Also modelled are small filler caps, and the tiny light is also represented by graphics. As we've seen, the mirror assembly is plastic, but the handrails are metal. A nice touch on the cab are the red and green loading indicators. And there are other small details behind the cab. The access stairs on this model are all changed and they're nicely textured, so there's no excuse for slipping on your way into the cab. There's a large box holding the exhaust equipment, and the modelling at the pivot point is very good with soft hydraulic hoses. And there's also a red safety lock which would be used to lock the pivot point. The wheels on the model are plastic, but they are nicely detailed. And the graphics printing on the dump body is very sharp. Another plus point on the model is that the connection points of the moving parts are small and discreet. Taking a look at the back, and there are more graphics to indicate lights. Small spotlights are modelled, and another safety lock, this time to hold the dump bed up during servicing. The metal dump body is nicely formed, as is the opening tailgate. To review the features, we start with the model on its back, and each of the wheels rotates independently. The truck steers by hydraulic cylinders operating across the pivot point, and the range of movement is very realistic compared to the real machine, and that includes rotation at the pivot point. Another nice piece of model engineering is on the rear axles, and they are connected so that they have oscillating suspension. Okay, enough time in the upside down world, so let's get real. And the model rolls along in a precise way. Let's go for the maximum steering angle, and as you can see, it is very manoeuvrable. If you want, you can also do some tricks, and we can do that by balancing the dump bed just on one side. If you want, you can also simulate some overexcitement and tip the body right over. Here we take a closer look at the oscillating rear axles, and then we move straight on to the tipping of the dump bed. The instruction sheet warns you not to interfere with the tailgate when you raise the dump body. So let's be good and follow the instructions precisely. The rams that control the dump body have got a very nice stiffness, so any pose can be held. And the tailgate opens as the dump body raises. The tipping angle on the real machine is excellent, and the model very nearly achieves the same angle. The fixing of the tailgate is not loose, so it's not self-closing, so the giant hand has to come into play. It is nice to show a dump truck such as this loaded, and for that it's a good idea to use cork rocks. These are both very light and very soft, so there's no danger of scratching the paintwork. To get a nice display pose, you can also add a suitable excavator, and that makes it all the more interesting. Or another option you have for the model is to display it on a suitable low loader. The real machine has a width of under 3 meters, so you don't need a special truck or any special permits to be able to transport it. Once it's properly positioned on the low bed, it makes a good looking load. Conrad has made a nice job of retooling this model to reflect the changes in the real machine. It's a strong and robust model with very good functionality. The overall standard of detailing is also very good. This model poses particularly well with others, so if you want a model of Liebherr's latest ADT, it is very good.